Hi, Jenel here with Sheep Hill Herbs. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to another video. Happy to have you here. I am going to take a little walk on my property, show you some wild violets, and share some great information about these plants, about these flowers that are in bloom right now in the spring. I do not save them throughout the year. Sometimes I make an extract, but I kind of like to just have them fresh when they are in bloom, and that's this once a year time. So let's get started. All right, so I'm walking in my kind of shaded foresty area. These are the white violets with the purple in the center. And I want to find some like darker purple. So there we go. This is a small patch. They're just kind of growing wild back here. I'm just gonna pick a couple. Such a pretty little flower. And if you have any bit of land, I guarantee you have these growing as well. Okay, so here are the violets. They are of the Viola genus, and I'm using the Herbalist Bible to share information, and I'm going to add in my own experience. So it's not like I'm talking about a plant that I am not familiar with. I'm very familiar, but I'm also giving you some researched information. All right, let's see here. Violets are cooling and anti-inflammatory. Parkinson categorizes garden and wild violets as cold and moist, and I would say that is true. He explains by humoral theory their capacity to cool any inward and outward distemperature, including the inflammations of the eyes, hot abscesses, and other swellings, and the pain of prolapse of the womb. He recommends drinking a decoction of the leaves or flowers or applying a poultice on the grieved place. This generic use of violets for inflammation was supplemented by more specific application of the chest area with violet classified as demulcent and pectoral herb. Demulcent is just soothing. Pectoral to the chest. This included its use to treat colds, bronchitis, whooping cough, and as an effective expectorant. So this book is written based on John Parkinson's research in his Materia Medicum, hundreds of years old. So white violets are specifically used for respiratory problems. Now, I'm getting over a chest cold, a slight chest cold. I would just eat these plain. They're sweet, they're good. We often add them to salads this time of year. And the reason I said I don't dry them is because they shrivel up into the tiniest little thing. I have made a vegetable glycerin extract, and it is soothing for the throat, especially if you have recurrent sore throats or tightness or constriction in the throat. I would say making an extract with the violets would be very useful. Then you can have it throughout the seasons. But I'm kind of in the place right now of my life where I just kind of want to enjoy the plants seasonally as they come up, and I'm really focused on just a really good diet, prayer, listening to the Holy Spirit. Sometimes we get too caught up in herbal remedies. I know I have. I'm the first one to do that. That we react in fear, and we think we need to have all these things on hand and dry and save. And what is the Holy Spirit telling me today? Eat some wild violets. That's what I'm going to do. But I'm not going to dry them. I'm not going to do that today. All right, for the head, the engaging account of French folk medicine by Jean Palaiseau, I don't know how to say that, called Grandmother's Secrets from 1973. quotes the 19th century naturopath Abby Knipe as saying that a violent decoction is good for headaches and great overheatings of the head. So a strong tea for headaches. Have not used it this way, have only taken violets for throats. And already, that one white violet I ate feels like it soothed my throat like a cough drop. This usage is at least as old as classical Greece with Hippocrates, suggesting violets for headaches and hangovers, and Roman times with violet leaf wreaths and flowers were worn after alcohol binges. Definitely not suggesting that, because that's a whole nother issue. That's a whole nother video which I made on alcohol. Alcohol is the pseudo Holy Spirit. We should be listening to the Holy Spirit, not false spirits. That's my opinion on alcohol. If you can moderate it, some people can, which means not getting drunk. And that's a fine line. If you can have a little bit, like maybe the way you drink coffee. If you're good at moderating coffee, desserts, if you do not have tendencies towards addictions, then alcohol can be fine. But a lot of people struggle with that. So, all right. Dried violets are mildly laxative and purgative. The leaves more than the flowers, and the roots more so again. This supports another old, probably medieval belief in Viola adorata, treating some forms of cancer, especially of the lungs, stomach, and chest. So I'm not reading every single line here. I'm going to go down to purple violets. I just ate both of my white. Purple violets, Parkinson reports, is said to use the use of violet powder drunk in water to treat the onset of throat inflammations. The white violets, there is no continuing tradition that white flowered violets are stronger in effect, sufficient to counter scorpion bite, he believes. On the other hand, the use of violets in general, fresh or dried, for treating respiratory ailments is of long duration. Both sweet violet and hearties are official in the British Herbal Pharmacopoeia of 1996 as expectorants. So it assists in moving mucus and soothing the throat and respiratory tract. All right. So one other little piece I'm going to read here about the violets. So you can make a syrup with honey or sugar. Parkinson suggests that honey is more cleansing than cooling, which suggests more purgative, while the sugar is reverse. The subtlety has been lost, but syrup of violets was until recent times a treatment of choice for children's coughs and chest colds. Parkinson notes the cordial nature of violet preparations, while adding roses and sandalwood sounds wonderful, with a little astringency from the roses adding depth to the violet's sweetness. So that sounds delicious. And how would I do a syrup? Well, you would need to collect quite a bit of violets, because as I said, they really, really shrink down. So if I were going to make a syrup, I would want at least 2 cups of violets. And I would use 2 cups of water and simmer that down to 1 cup of water. And then I would add 1 cup of honey and simmer that until it was a nice syrupy consistency. You will have a beautiful purple. And then bottle it and put it in the refrigerator. That sounds like a video I should make. I don't think I have a cup of violets on this this land. We just cut the grass, and it's a new property. I don't have as many as I did at my old place, but perhaps I have a cup. I think I could get a cup. And anyway, love to hear your comments. Thank you for being here. Come again soon.